Yeah.
As we all know, everybody's not here to talk Boston Celtics. I'm sure Lana and I could sit here and talk about this for quite some time.
Yeah.
But we are here to talk about some other news, and we can obviously start with the big news of the day.
Okay.
Lana, they finally got him. Second in line to the Biden crime family.
Right.
Hunter Biden has been found guilty of his federal gun charges. In fact, he was found guilty in a trial that began earlier in June, making him the first child of a sitting president to be convicted of a crime. The president's son now faces sentencing and possibly prison as his father seeks re-election. Hunter Biden faces up to 25 years in prison with the 3 charges. A little weak compared to some of the other charges that we've seen recently. But although he's a first-time offender, it is unlikely that he will receive the maximum sentence. The federal gun trial is one of 2 that Hunter Biden is set to face before the November election and has taken heavy emotional toll on the close-knit Biden family. Hunter Biden pleaded not guilty in the charges against him. Jury deliberation in the trial lasted for about 3 hours. A sentencing date has not been set yet. Lana, they've been trying to get Hunter. I don't know how this is going to affect his run for president. Like I said, I think it's important to note also this is an investigation that was part of the Department of Justice that his father actually could step in if he wanted to, and he said that he wasn't going to. He also said he wasn't going to pardon his son. He wasn't going to use the power of the presidency in order to do that. Lana, what are your thoughts on them finally getting this monster, Hunter Biden?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of emotions, right? Like, we knew he was going to be found guilty because, like, he did it. Like, the charges are what the charges are. But the unfairness that we don't complain about because we're not Republicans is that these charges are never brought. Like, we know that. What they said, like 289 charges or something like that. Like, it's just not brought unless the firearm was used in a crime. Like, that's when they bring these charges. Other than that, like, everyone's under the influence and on drugs when they're filling out this stuff. Like, it doesn't make any sense. And then what are Republicans? They're like the party of the Second Amendment, and they love the gun. So now they're saying that Hunter Biden shouldn't have had this gun all of the 11 days that he had it, 10 days locked up, 1 day out. Like, I'm so confused.
Well, the funny part is if you looked today, the Republican, at least the ones who have some sort of brain, didn't seem like they were necessarily celebrating the same way maybe the other side was celebrating that Donald Trump had finally been held responsible for the years and years of shit that he was doing. I think they were kind of towing a line a little bit, because it was a gun charge that, they kind of have to be a little careful on what they say and how they say it, because there should be no laws against guns, and there should be,
That's what they say, right? Everybody should have a gun. Like, domestic abusers should have guns. Like, now it's all different, but they're not even saying that right now. They're saying that it's a whole, the Biden crime syndicate made it so that the jury found him guilty so that, I don't know, we would be confused about what they're really trying to do, which is get all the Republicans. It's just like,
that is what they do. What they'll do is they'll find, because again, I've said this before, this is a multi-billion-dollar propaganda machine. And if you think the idiots that go to the Trump rallies are thinking of this, there's They are not. The ones thinking of this are the ones in control of the money. So they've had this set up for months, just in case Hunter Biden was found guilty. What is our story going to be? What are our bullet points going to be?
Right.
And the bullet points are, don't let this fool you. They're just making him guilty just so they can make it look like they're not really behind all this stuff against Donald Trump.
Excuse me, MAGAs? Y'all out there? Does this make any sense? Like, because I know y'all love to write stuff in the comments. So riddle us that part, right? Like, so there's a couple of things here. Is Biden, does he have dementia? Or is he like just that much of like the head of this crime syndicate that he's going to sacrifice his son and potentially send him to federal prison, all to make it seem like we're not running the DOJ? Like, huh?
No, I think it's what it is Obama's running this whole thing. Joe Biden's the puppet, since he was somehow illegally named as the president of the United States. I mean, what the Democrats can get away with. Hillary has people killed. Obama is spying on campaigns, and he's also running this administration with a puppet who somehow got everybody to cheat for him to win by 7 million votes. And the list goes on and on and on.
Doesn't make any fucking sense. Like,
to them, it does, though. That's the scary part. I don't think
they care. Like, I don't know. It can't. I don't think they pay attention. Like, I think Republicans just say whatever because they had to say, because they've been saying for the longest, they were preparing for it to be not guilty. So it was almost like they were saying, two-tier justice system. But now they can't say that. So then they had to say something else. They know better.
Yep.
Trump supporters, I don't think they fucking pay attention, nor do they care. Like, they probably just don't. They're still stuck on Biden crime family. Like, you cannot be this stupid.
Well, they can. And I think they do pay attention. But the only thing they pay attention to is they scroll through their Twitter feed, and it's only people that they follow, like, constantly. And it's these Jack Posobiec's and these other Charlie Kirks, and and they're the ones who are coming up with this, hey, we know what they'll buy, so just keep feeding these people, and they'll go around and they'll tell their friends at work, they'll tell their friends, their family members, that this is the real thing that's happening. And whether or not they believe it, I don't know if that matters.
They don't know about what's going on in New York with the Senate guy, the Democrat,
Bob Menendez.
Bob Menendez, and then the other guy, the congressman, the Democratic congressman, who's also going to. So, like, how is so excluding that? That's why they're able. It's almost like they're always missing information. So that's why they're easily fooled, because they're only getting, like you said, what Republicans are feeding them. Because maybe if they knew, no, the DOJ's got, this senator is Democrat, this guy is a Democrat, like, these people too are coming up, have been indicted. Like, it's not just fucking Trump. Like,
I know, but it is ingrained in their brain, unfortunately, that there is a grand plan from the Democrats, which, the funny part is the projection behind all of this is that this is really the plan of the Republicans. They want to overtake government. They want to replace government officials, and we're going to talk about that a little later, but they want to replace government officials with yes men and yes women who will do whatever the president says. And again, we'll get into this a little bit later, but at the end of the day, I do feel terrible for President Biden. He's gone through a lot in his life, and I've seen some very awful and terrible things said about him and his family online today, which, quite frankly, I'm sort of immune to it. It doesn't shock me the way it used to. I would read back maybe years ago and go, oh my God, did you just see? But now it's just like it's a dime a dozen. You go through it. This nutball Laura Loomer
Mhm.
was, I don't know if you saw her posted
Yeah, I
today, but
quote
she said
tweeted
some very
her.
vile things. But
Oh, yeah.
she's also some crackpot whose father had to take her to basically a mental institution, not once, but twice in her life, because she's that fucking crazy. But anyway, none of that really matters. At the end of the day, what's going to matter is how we vote. We're not going to see the trials that we want to see. The only one that we have an outside shot at is the January 6th trial. And I'm still a little leery about the Supreme Court on how they're going to rule about whether or not a president has full immunity to do whatever he wants while he's president, which is fucking ridiculous. But anyway, this one, and again, it's funny to say it and us saying it because people look at us as there goes those liberals and Democrats. They don't get it. This one was politically motivated. There's no question, because they had already worked out a deal with Hunter Biden.
Right.
And this Republican judge stepped in and says, no,
Yeah.
we're going to go and take this further. They had already worked out a deal. And they came out, and, from my understanding, and anybody that's a MAGA who's watching this and wants to prove us wrong, it's my understanding that these charges, even Trey Gowdy on Fox News, who's as right as you get, he was on Fox News saying, nah, this one seems a little political. This one seems
not even a little, like,
lot
political.
Well, it takes a lot for Trey Gowdy to say a little bit political. We got actually some comments. This ain't your daddy's politics. My MAGA sister has all the Fox News talking points, but to have a conversation about any of them, she's clueless. She just repeats what she hears from Fox and believes it. And that's what we get constantly from any of our Fox or our MAGA friends. Hell, they've laid it all out in the mandate for the Leadership Project 2025 is no joke. And we are going to talk about it again, because we've talked about it before on this show, but this is something that should be talked about, whether it's on a small YouTube channel like ours or on MSNBC, CNN, or anybody that really cares about this country and the direction of which it may go. Project 2025 is something you really, really should be paying attention to.
Right. Can I just give the statistics on that chart?
Damn right you can. Absolutely.
So in 2019, fiscal year 2019, when Hunter bought his gun, federal prosecutors received 478 referrals for lying on the form 4473, I guess that's the form, and filed just 298 cases. So out of 478, they filed 298 cases in 2019. So why are we doing this?
Well, we know why we're doing it. I mean, it is one of those things. But I'll tell you, Lana, does this help? Does it help Biden at all? I mean, does it help the cause in a way? And I hate saying, because all this stuff, I don't want to see anybody committing crimes and going to jail. I wish nobody committed crimes and nobody went to jail. But when you commit crimes that are against the law, you need to pay for it, whether it's Hunter Biden, Donald Trump, me, Lana, whoever it is. I mean, that's just what needs to happen. And Lana, I say this because I know her. She's not going out in a boat parade with a bunch of Hunter Biden flags. And she's not going to send all of her money and her children's money to the Biden campaign because she's so angry about this. That is for people who are not very bright and who are, just suckered into believing that the system is against them, when really the only people that are working for you, and it's not perfect, are the people that you're voting against.
Yeah.
Sad.
Yeah.